Hello everybody, Low for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and you know what? I've been pushing this off because I keep waiting for the ban list. I'm like, okay, it's gotta be soon, right? It's gotta be soon, right? No, it's gonna be freaking it's going to be Friday or Saturday. I'm calling it now, which is the most annoying thing because every day, like, unfortunately, Konami knows this. Here's the thing. Okay, because they gave such a vague timeline for late August, they are milking this so hard. Their Twitter feeds are literally just shilling whatever they want. And you know what? I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. The hustle is real. But anyways, it's driving me nuts. It's driving everybody nuts. And I just want to vent and talk about what I want to see with the ban list and stuff. So I have here some cards I want to talk about. I might change things as we go through this little discussion here. But to preface, I want to say something. I know I've made a video, a month or two ago now, talking about how much I hate this format. And how it's getting harder and harder to enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. And it still is. It really, really is. Partly because of the format. The format's one thing. And before you go, oh, pricing too. I don't care about pricing. For the first time in my 12 years of playing Yu-Gi-Oh, finally topped a bigger tournament than just a regular locals. Okay? And it was just an OTS championship. It's nothing like major. I will never ever see Worlds. I will never see a YCS. It's dust in the wind. I don't care. Okay? I really do not care. Would it be nice for the people who actually are good enough and able to travel? Yeah, cool. Good for you. Awesome. Yay. I don't care. I can take it or leave it. My problems is game balance, card design, and Konami's, for some reason, lack of wanting to bring cards back or to ban cards or to hit cards, or because, oh, such and such deck is getting support, they don't want to hit it as hard as they should, or, oh, they don't want to hit this particular card because it just came out, yet it's giving a problem, yet they banned cards before, like, literally within weeks of it coming out. This is the longest we have been in a Tier 0 format. I know some people say we aren't in a Tier 0 format anymore because of how Snake Eye has kind of been slipping a bit here and there. I wonder how much of that is actually the deck slipping up and not doing as well, and how much of it is actually people are sick of playing the deck. A lot of the top tier players at my locals have stopped playing the deck. They still have the deck for when they want to go to a big tournament like a regional or something, but they stopped playing the deck because it's boring as sin, and it's the only deck they've been playing for the past like 6 months. People are tired. People want new things. People want things to change. So let's talk about that. Okay, now this is 100% my opinion on cards. I'm not going to talk about everything on the ban list and every card that's a problem and all that. There are definitely things that could change that I probably won't talk about here. And I'm willing to listen, okay? Right now I know some of you are like, where's Shifter on your list of cards to talk about? I like Shifter. I don't think Shifter should get banned, okay? That's already going to get me a ton of dislikes. I'm going to say this now. I don't really care for the Milch Armies. I know people are freaking out about them, but I don't care one way or the other. I really don't at this point. Going second in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so bad. So incredibly bad. That they kind of have to print broken cards at this point, or stop printing broken going first cards. Anyways, enough preamble. Let's go ahead and start talking about this. I'm using YgoProg.com/banlistbuilder. I don't know if this is the best place to use, but hey, it's what I'm using. So, first and foremost, let's talk about some of the cards I'd like to see banned. We're gonna get rid of Snake Eye real quick here, okay? Snake Eye, Flamberge Dragon, and OSS both need to go and get banned. They're both at 3 in Japan, and that's the reason why this deck is still Tier 0, or at least High Tier 1 in Japan. And people are sick of it. I'm sick of it. I don't want to deal with Snake Eye any longer. I want Snake Eye, okay? This might be an unpopular opinion, because I know some people actually like Snake Eye, kind of like Tier Element, and I don't understand that, okay? I don't understand the love for Tier Element, and I don't understand the kind of sort of love to Snake Eye, but it's much less love because people, I have noticed, are a lot more sick of it. So, personally for me, I would love to see Flamberge banned, OSS banned, all three of the good little Snake Eyes, the level 1s, put to 1, and then Seeker of Sinful Swells put to 1 as well. This one I can actually take or leave. I don't care as much. I think the Diabell Star engine and what she's got going for her is very interesting. The problem is that we do have YgoAmino coming out, and YgoAmino becomes a very, very, very small engine that any deck can play. So I actually, the more I think about it, this card needs to go to 1. Because once YgoAmino comes out, you can literally just play one of the YgoAmino Continuous spell, that's a Sinful Swells card, and then one of the YgoAmino Fusion spell that sends the Sinful Swells card, and then bam, free Omni-Negate, and then that Sinful Swells card comes back at the end of the turn. So you can do it all over again. I don't like that. So let's kind of run through my thoughts here, okay? Flamberge, this card, okay. Konami was so close to having a really cool interactive boss monster here, but they flubbed it, okay? And what do I mean by they flubbed it? Its first and second effect should have been switched in terms of which one was a quick effect. The effect to shove a monster in the back row should have been a quick effect. The effect to special a monster from the back row should have been an ignition on your turn only effect. That right there would have made this card actually an interesting boss monster for the deck, because here's the thing. Right now, Flamberge Dragon is intended to be the archetypal boss monster of Snake Eyes. Yet it is one of the, and I'm going to catch flack for this, I'm going to say it, he's one of the worst boss monsters I've ever seen. He does nothing on the opponent's turn except for special summoning a monster, which, if you're playing and just looking at Snake Eye, does nothing for the deck on the opponent's turn other than generate more resources for you, and possibly steal monsters from your opponent's back row that you shoved into their back row. How this card is played makes it a resource engine, not a boss monster. As a boss monster, I give it a 2 out of 10. As a resource engine, it gets a 20 out of 10. This card is absurdly broken in that regard. Being able to shove any monster from either player's field or in the graveyard into the back row on your turn lets you do absurdly stupid combos with stuff like IP Masquerena and that. And, I've seen people say Masquerena needs to get banned. I don't think that's the case. I think what makes Masquerena broken is Flamberge Dragon, because, you go Flamberge with Masquerena into SP Little Knight. That immediately gives you a banish off the SP Little Knight, and then 2 summons off of Flamberge. Flamberge also summons, the 2 targets are Ash and Poplar, who both search cards on summon. This is ridiculous, and this needs to be stopped. Flamberge needs to get banned. Putting it to 1 does nothing. Most people only play 1. Some people play 2, yeah, but most people only play 1. This card needs to get banned. It needs to die. I never want to see it again, at least without other heavy hits to the archetype. Then there's Original Sinful Spoils. This card, I've seen some people say that it's fine, it's cool. It enables really cool interactions and deck building, and I can see that to some extent. But as long as Snake Eye, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, this okay, fine. You can have your 1 OSS, but this and this need to get banned. Okay, I'm just gonna be fully upfront and honest. Because here's the thing, as long as OSS is around, Snake Eye is going to be at least somewhat relevant. This card is ridiculously broken in what it does for this deck and the resource loop it generates alongside Wanted and these little turds, for lack of a better word. I try not to curse. There's words I want to call these cards, but I will not call them for the sake of my channel and my sanity. So, this card needs to get banned. I don't care that, you can play a small Diabell Star engine in, like, freaking, I don't know, other than Fire King and Rescue Ace, what's the other, like, random ones that people play? Laval, Noble Knight, that's the big one. And for Noble, I had the picture of the level 1 Infernoble in my head, and it just was escaping me what the heck it was called. I don't care. I don't care, okay? Those are not the decks that are topping. Laval with Diabell Star? Yeah, sure, that sounds cool. It's not topping. Neither is the Infernoble. It's not topping. This is the problem, and you know what? It's the archetype. It's an actual archetypal card. It has Snake Eye in the name. There you go. Okay, and I bring it up because I don't like when other archetypes get cards from other archetypes banned. Take, for instance, with Dragon Ravine, that card got banned for the longest time thanks to Dragon Roar. I hated that. Dragoonity was unplayable for years, or at least it felt like years. It maybe wasn't that long, but like it was long enough to where Konami actually printed that Lance card and a couple other cards that effectively are like Dragon Ravine, but with other like conditions and stuff, until they finally unbanned Dragon Ravine. And I don't want to see that. I don't care. Normally, I don't like seeing it happening, but here's the thing. This is a Snake Eye card. This is for the Snake Eye deck. It's the other weaker decks that are using the broken cards from the broken deck. It's not the same thing, at least in my opinion. Okay, now let's talk about the limiteds. All three of the good level 1 Snake Eyes at level 1. I think alongside this deck needs to get the tier limit treatment. Otherwise, it's just free resource fodder for whatever you want. And yeah, Oak could also probably get banned. I feel like if you limit these three, it should be fine. Maybe, I don't know, because then you get into the problem of, okay, normal Ash, search Poplar special summon, search the field spell, Ash effect, send Poplar and itself to graveyard, summon Oak, Poplar effect, place Ash in the back row, Oak effect, bring back Poplar or whatever, and then proceed to link summon. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that should go banned. I don't like that. Unless like Bonfire gets limited, which I don't think Bonfire needs to get limited. That card's a hard once per turn. Just the fact that you're able to do that kind of resource loop, I don't like. And then you got Birch, who, yeah, does not see play at the moment, but he would see play if the others got hit. And, I mean, like, it's not a bad card. It's an extender. Oh, you got a fire monster in the field? Special summon it. That's literally all it needs. The only reason why Birch isn't played at the moment is because its effective special summon is during the opponent's turn, and it's got the worst stats. Like, let's be real. It's got bad stats, and it's not, like, super needed for the deck either. So, I don't know. I feel like Oak could possibly go to 1, maybe, and it won't be a problem. But knowing how these 3 cards generate so much resources, I know some people will probably say, "Oh, if you ban these, you don't need to touch him." I don't trust it. No, this gets you back these guys, and we don't need that. Okay, unless, however, you hit Poplar to ban, because Poplar was what broke the archetype. I don't know, maybe. That's another option as well. Wanted, this card's just the main thing is that Diabell Star herself is very powerful, and this gets you Diabell Star from your deck or graveyard. The big thing though is that Diabell Star is also a costed card. You gotta send a card to special summon her, and you can argue that, like, oh, with this band you don't need to hit Wanted. The problem is that, again, the YgoAmino is coming around, and the YgoAmino is gonna want as much of the Sinful Spoiler cards as possible. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this card needs to get hit. At the same time, it is confirmed to be, I think, either in the Tins or in the Bonanza. So, I know the Diabell Star specifically is in the Bonanza, so we're going to have to wait and see. It's possible they won't touch this. And, you know, I think as long as these guys get hit, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. But, man, is it going to be annoying to have to deal with one card, Omni Negates again. Especially for broken decks. So, moving on, let's go ahead and talk about some other archetypal stuff. I do want to bring up good old Phantom of Yubel and Nightmare Throne, Nightmare Pain, okay? So, let's go ahead and then Servara over here. So, I'm not saying to semi-limit these, I'm just separating them so I can more easily talk about them where we're going to go. Okay, so, Yubel, here's the thing with Yubel. The instant Snake Eye gets hit, Yubel becomes the best deck in the format. Like, by far and none. And the deck has a really solid like matchup against almost everything. It's really freaky. So, I want to see the deck get touched on. Now, Phantom of Yubel is one of my biggest problem cards with the deck, and it really should be at 1. Okay, like, the fact that this card is not once per turn on its fusion summon effect, okay? And the fact it's not once per turn, okay, that's a big thing, okay? I can't get over that. The other big thing, though, is that it's just a blanket monster negate. This card, okay, you can do so many combos with and everything. And then on top of that, if you fusion into it using its effect and then link it off or something or whatever, and then you have it in your graveyard, you can bring it back with the circle, I think is what it's called, Spirit Gates. Opening of Spirit Gates. This is a card that a lot of people I've seen say should go to 1 alongside the card that searches this, which I forget what it is. Dark Beckoning Beast or something. Beckoning Beast. Yeah, I had it right. I've seen a lot of people say that these two should get hit in order to hit Yubel. I don't like that because now you're making the Sacred Beast unplayable. Now, some will say, oh, but it's already unplayable. No, it's not. It's not unplayable. It's a fine deck. It's not like anything major. It's not a particularly bad deck. It's not a particularly great deck. But you ban these, or you limit these, and then that deck becomes literally unplayable because they lose their Searcher. They lose 2 of their Searchers. Oh my god. And they lose their combo pieces. And I don't like seeing that. Okay, I don't like seeing weaker decks be hit because better decks are playing their good cards in them. So, personally speaking, I'd prefer if these don't get hit. Are they realistic hits? Honestly, yeah, which is unfortunate. Konami could go, okay, we're going to hit these to 1 each, and then you're locked out of it. And you know what? Sacred Beast players, screw you. Sorry, but you aren't important. And to an extent, I understand that logic. I really do. But I feel like there are other cards that are more impactful in the Yubel package that have been around for longer that can get hit instead. Now, again, honestly, Phantom of Yubel needs to go to 1. The card is way too powerful, way too obnoxious. The problem is, are they going to do it? Probably not, unfortunately. Even though it was, what boggles my mind? It was printed in the same set, at least for us. I think it was a V-Jump promo in Japan. But for us, it was printed in the same set as Ritual Beast Nochio Drago, which functionally fills the same role as Phantom, being an easy-to-cheat-out monster that gets your combos going. And yet, that card has the once per turn you can special summon it, a clause on it, whereas Phantom of Yubel has no once per turn on its special summon. This card, if it just had that once per turn, it would be fine, but no. So, are these realistic hits? Possibly. Probably. Actually, I don't personally want them. So, again, this is what I would personally do. Am I the right person? Probably not. Nightmare Throne and Nightmare Pain. These cards are what I would actually go after for the most part. These two are the main searchers for the archetype for Yubel, and they both should be put to 1. They've both been out long enough to where they could get hit. Will Konami hit it? Who knows? It's really, we don't know. We really don't know if they'll hit it or not. But both of these cards could get hit and drastically reduce the power level and sustainability of Yubel. Heck, if both of these got hit to 1, Yubel would have to even further rely on the Spirit Gates package, and I don't think they would be as nearly as playable. So, I personally would prefer this, all 3 of these cards going to 1. You know, you lose your Searcher, that also triggers your special summons. You lose your Searcher, that also can trigger your special summons. That also triggers more special summons. I feel like these would be much bigger hits, much more impactful hits. I don't even know how many Nightmare Pains people play anymore nowadays. This card used to be a 3 of. I don't know if it still is, but you know what? It's a broken card. It really does need to get hit. So, anyways, especially since, this searches out Nightmare Throne, so just saying, like, if this isn't still a 3 of in the deck, I'd be very surprised. Now, Sharvara along with the other Unchained card. Okay, so Unchained Soul of Yama. These 2 cards right here. Now, I played Unchained a lot back when it was a good, good deck. I tried playing it back when it was one of the best decks in the format. The Cat and Doug format, as I like to call it, that really sweet format where 20 decks were competitively viable on some level. And as much as I hated the Servara hit back in the day, my god am I glad it's hit nowadays, because Yubel would be that much more powerful. And unfortunately, it's going to continue like that, even if they were to do these hits. So, that brings us to questions. Should Servara stay limited, and should they do anything with Yama? So, here's why I'm bringing this up, okay? Servara gets you into Yama. Servara then gets you into your trap card that brings back a Unchained from Graveyard, or if you want to be funny, you can get the Icarus attack or something else. For the most part, though, it gets you the Icarus attack or the Monster Reborn, usually the Monster Reborn. You then use the Yama that you went into with this, who, oh, by the way, can search out Servara if you need to. And then this can get you into either Servara or any other of those kind of shenanigans. And then you use either one of these guys to go into the Unchained Blue Dog Soul. Unchained Soul right here of Rage. So that brings up the question, is this worth hitting? Because this is a combo to get into yet another interruption for the deck. Now, this also brings up the other question, is should they hit IP Masquerena? Because this effectively gets you into an archetypal worse kind of sort of situation. So here's the thing with Rage, okay? This card is a perfectly fair and balanced card. It's annoying, but it's fair and balanced, at least in terms of its own archetype. What makes it broken is the fact that you can pair it up with so much other stuff. When you're staring down a Rage along with a Phantom of Yubel and a Varudis, that's a problem. So, the deck is already doing perfectly fine with one Servara, and that's where the question of whether or not Yama should be banned. Okay? Now, the big thing with Yama is that he's a generic Link 2 that searches. And it's funny, because I don't see a lot of people talk about Yama in this regard. He's a generic Link 2, for the most part. Yes, he does need 2 Fiends, but you're making him in a Fiend deck. And then he gets you into Servara. So, I'm going to say this right now. If Yama were banned, Servara could go to 2 or 3 and be fine. That would be my opinion. Okay? Because then, you are losing so much more advantage than you would be if you just did the line. Because Yama's Graveyard effect is very powerful, and further helps also trigger multiple Rages in a duel, or even over the course of a few turns. So, with that being said, I really do feel like something that Konami could do. Now, this is probably overhitting Yubel, if I'm being honest, but this is something they could do. These are all hits that I think they could do to hit Yubel. Would they do them all on the same ban list? Probably not. I highly doubt it, unless they really want to do a Massacre ban list. Please, Konami. Banning Yama gets rid of Rage out of the Yubel end board, and drastically reduces the power level of that. Because now you got a hard draw Servara, and if you leave Servara at 1, that's not good for the deck. They would have to play one of the other main deck Unchained Souls, like Shyama or Disaster, which I don't think they would do, or Abominable. So, honestly, the more I think about it, unless Yubel receives heavy hits, Servara should probably stay at 1. And there is a real talk about maybe if Yama should get banned. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm still salty about my Isolde getting banned, so you know what? If a Broken Link 2 that searches like that can get banned, then maybe Yama should get banned too. Because this card is very powerful in the Fiend pile, and we got to do something about that. Okay, moving on. Kind of running out of archetypal stuff, aren't we, down here? Let's go ahead and talk about some of the big hits personally. So, I mentioned Ritual Beast earlier. I do love Ritual Beast. I hate this card. Ban it. Protos should have never came off. It's an absurdly broken card, and no one likes it. No one likes playing against it. No one likes dealing with it. Masterpiece. This card actually is one of the first cards I want to talk about that can come off, and I think he should go 2-1. Notice I do not have Dragonic Diagram here. I don't think Dragonic Diagram... I think the problem with Masterpiece and Draco Slayer overall is that Dragonic Diagram is way too powerful. This card, unless I'm totally mistaken, is still at 1. And it's a very, very stupidly powerful card. So let's see here. Dragonic Diagram. Yeah, it's still at 1. Okay, so Diagram, if you don't know what it does, you pop a card on your field or in your hand, and then you add a True Draco or True King from your deck to your hand. Okay? Then all True Draco and True Kings gain 300 attack and defense. Okay? And it even counts monsters on your opponent's field, which is funny in the mirror. But anyway, the thing is, you can play a small True Draco package in a deck with like multiple Diagram if they were to ever bring it back. And then Masterpiece, and then any deck can also add Masterpiece to their end board. And that's a bit of a problem, because Masterpiece is a quick effect pop who can become immune to 2 of the 3 card types in the game. And if you play your cards right, you can have them be immune to spells and monsters, which are the 2 most popular. Now, granted, you maybe want to do traps, because they don't have to worry about imperm, but I don't know, that's kind of down to whatever you think is best, depending on what you're playing against. So, if Masterpiece ever comes back, I don't think Dragonic Diagram should go to more than 1. You just will see people playing the combos in there. And then also you have to deal with the Floodgate deck, which is True Draco as an archetype by itself, which is also a problem. So, I don't know. Maybe if they hit more to Floodgates, we could talk about that more too. So, let's see here. Let's talk about Miscellaneousaurus. It's currently at 1. I really think it should go to 2 or maybe even 3. Dinos need all the help they could get, and the deck hasn't seen hardly any play in forever. Good old Mathmech Circular should come back to 1. I'm sorry, I know people think that Mathmech Circular is an absurdly broken card, and you know what, I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, this deck was doing nothing. Cybers was doing nothing at the time, and it's still going to do nothing. Even if Circular comes back, you're not going to see Cybers be the best deck in the format. It's not going to be anywhere close. And yeah, sure, it's going to be getting new support with Malice, but Malice is not doing well in Japan at all. You know what is doing well? Rizal. So, I get the hate for Circular. I get it. I really do. It is the truly first one-card combo that people first took notice of, where you just plop Circular and you pop off. The thing is that it's for a typing and for an archetype that really doesn't do anything noteworthy and hasn't done anything noteworthy. Like, I don't get the hate for this at all. I really think it could come back to 1 and be fine. Let's see here. Fabled Lurie. This is a card that like I could see getting hit in regards to as a sort of hit to good old freaking Fiendsmith. Okay, because they're not going to want to touch Fiendsmith itself. And the problem with hitting Fabled Lurie is that this card, if you hit it, you just bring up whatever other light fiends you can bring up. So let's see here. We're going to leave out that. Let's see here. Attribute, light, type. Where's type? Type. There it is. No fiend. Okay, hang on. This is annoying. Monster. Type. Still bringing up spells and traps. That's annoying. Subtype. There we go. So, fiend. So, if this guy gets banned, which he's the best search target, then, yeah, you do have other targets, but, like, none of them are as good as Lurie. Because it's literally just search Lurie, discard Lurie, spell summon Lurie, pop off. So, oh, what does Topi do? Nope. What about this Fabled? Nope. I would like to see him here, but actually he probably could go to 1, and I think that'd be fine, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, not anytime soon, well, not within the next, like, year. Let's see, Dustin's. No. I mean, like, yeah, and then you got the magical muskets and stuff. I just, like, yeah, there are other targets, but none of them are as good as this little turkey. This little turd. You know what? There we go. I'll call him a turd because that's what he is. He's a turd bird. And yeah, so with that being said, I think if they hit him, Then you got everybody wanting to play a normal monster or Astral Ygopro. I don't know. Something else to search, and then you just got to discard, and then your discard actually matters. So that is something to be mindful of. I think Lurie, as much as I don't want him to get banned because of Fables, it's a possible hit until Fiendsmith proper gets hit, which who knows when that's going to happen. Okay, let's talk about some other cards here, okay? Good old Beatrice needs to get banned. This card, I'm so sick of her. I have been Mayakashi locked, and that is not fun. No turn skips are fun, and this card enables too many, and then it also enables too many other stuff. In Japan, freaking Beatrice, because of her with Fiendsmith, it became, okay, who can turbo out Beatrice first and not get her negated? You know, and that's the unfortunate thing. This card needs to get banned, and let's just save our lives, okay, please? Zenmighty should come off. They're probably not going to bring him back because they haven't had any reason anytime soon. But Zenmighty really should come off. There's no reason for him to be on the ban list anymore. And before we go, oh, Hunter, why don't you ban Hunter instead? I'm not scared of the Hunter hand loop, okay? That's too inconsistent. It was never that good, and it's not going to be good in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Zenmighty, realistically, could go to 3, and it'll be fine, okay? This card, it's there's no reason to keep windups neutered any longer, okay? Speaking of these 3, should I go to 3? I'm using Blaster as a, just stand-in for all the Dragon Roars. I'm very iffy on the Dragon Roars as a whole, because honestly, I grew up in freaking Dragon Roar format, so they scare me still. But, yeah, he really could come back. They all could come back. That terrifies me. Moving on. Lunar Light Tiger still at 1. I don't know why. Bring it back to 2. Let's see how it does. I don't think it'll be any problem. Glow Up Bulb, put it back to 3. Come on. There's no reason it should be at 1. I mean, it's not even at 1. It's still banned for some silly reason. Bring it back to 3. Let's be real. They're going to put it at 1. But, like, come on. Bring it back. Okay. Daigusto Emerald. Why is this still at 1? I haven't seen anybody play Daigusto Emerald in years, you know? And I get it. It can be a combo card, and it also lets you, like, return 3 and draw. But I don't think there's any reason it should stay on the ban list. I think it really could go to 2 or 3, and it'll be fine. I'm sure someone's going to go, well, actually, there's an OTK you could do with it in Infinite show me, please. I'm very curious. I don't think Daigusto Emerald should stay at 1 anymore. There's no reason for it. It's just, why? I don't see it. I don't even see people play Emerald anymore. It hasn't seen play in years. It's still a good card. It just, no one really focuses on recycling stuff. The game's over by then. Okay, let's talk about the Albion in the room. I like Albion as a card design. I like the idea of being able to trigger. So what Albion's intended to do is to summon Albaz on your turn, on your opponent's turn, along with a monster that's an appropriate fusion target for the Albaz, so that then you can make one of your fusions on your opponent's turn. That's the intended use of it. That's not how people use it, which is unfortunate. This card really needs an errata to where you have to target an Albaz in your graveyard and a monster in your opponent's graveyard or something. That would be fine, or because there's no reason this should be doing puppet lock stuff and all that. I would personally prefer them to go after the actual problem cards of the puppets, of the puppet locking cards. That, or maybe errata those cards so that they don't, if they're summoned to a zone, if they're given to an opponent, then, you can't, trigger them anymore. And here's the reason why, okay? So, the instant Konami prints another card that gives your opponent a monster, they're going to do puppet locking all over again, okay? And already, you see people using give and take in decks like Gimmick Puppet, okay? Now you might be like, okay, well, why would you do that? So give and take says special summon one monster from your graveyard to your opponent's side of the field in defense position, and increase the level of one monster you control by the level of the special summon monster until the end phase. So here's my fear, okay? if they ban Albion and don't hit the problem cards like Gimmick Puppet, then you just get people still doing the puppet lock, but now they're doing give and take. And give and take, there are ways to get to this card, most notably, oh, your opponent like used a like hand trap against you, which before you go, oh, that's so situational. Everybody's playing 20 plus hand traps. It's gonna happen, okay? So then you plop down the thrust and you set give and take, and then you go through your normal branded line where you go into Grand Guggenol, whatever its name is, and then you send puppet, and then your opponent goes to their turn, you flip give and take and give it to your opponent, and then it's the same thing all over again. You actually see Gimmick Puppet players doing this right now because they get hit with a draw or something, and then they're like, oh, okay, give and take, do the puppet lock, oh, you can't play, okay, my turn, I have to K you anyways. So, that's my fear. I'd much rather them hit the annoying cards like I just had in my head, Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, Ito, all that stuff. I'd much rather them hit those. But I'm in the minority, and you know what? I don't feel like getting screamed at right now. Next up, Electromite. This is my bias as a Pendulum player. I want Electromite off the ban list. There's no reason she should still be on the ban list. Pendulums get enough hate, enough unwarranted hate. Let's be real here. Pendulums have not been relevant in years, and Konami occasionally gives us crumbs of Pendulum support and Pendulum archetypes, and then yet they refuse to unban Electromite, at least for the TCG. She is at 1 in the Master Duel and in OCG, and there's no reason for that. She should come back. It's not going to do anything, I promise. Scarecrow should come back, okay? Super Heavies lost their... Let's be real, they're real boss monsters with Baron and Savage Dragon. So yeah, bring back Scarecrow. Let Super Heavies do their combos and make unimpressive boards, and by that I mean end on an Nibiru token. Heavy Storm to 1. Let's be real, this card can come back. Let's bring back Heavy Storm. I want going second to be actually a threat other than like Tenpai, which on that note, Tenpai's field spell saying in summoning should go to 1. Personally, I want this card banned, and, you know, the Gimmick Puppet Mansion of Dreadful Dolls. Both of these cards, they're way too broken. I don't like this idea for how you, like, make a go second deck or a very gimmicky, for lack of a better word, burn deck into being a relevant deck by literally just printing cards that say your opponent can't interact with them. So, honestly, both of these should probably get banned. Because when they still open them, the deck still does well. I want both of these as gone as possible, but you know what? Fine, one of. That does actually remind me, I forgot a card on here. Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity should go to 1. I despise this card. I hate the fact that it allows you to get to your combo pieces, get to your, even more concerningly, floodgates and stuff like that. This card makes decks way too consistent and really should probably be put to 1, if not outright banned even maybe, because then it becomes a bit sacky as a 1 of, but I digress. Okay, moving on, let's talk about Lightning Storm. I think this card should go to 3, putting it in my groups of 3 over here. Pancratop should go to 3, there's no reason this card's still at 2, I think, yeah, 2. It's at 1 in Japan still, oh my god. Kieran should go to 3. There's no reason it should be at 1. Give Pendulums more like playability, please. Let's talk about the 2 Runic cards. Runic Tip, Runic Fountain. Both of these should go to 1. I'm very mixed on Runic as a engine for other decks like Light Forest, like Magical Musket, like Witchcrafter. I've tried it out with Exodia to an extent. Those kinds of things. It's really cool, and I like what it's able to do. I really like that, as annoying as it was to play against, a Bestial Runic deck, when someone knew what they were doing with the deck, was really cool to see pop off. But at the same time, I really don't like the super stunny decks that make it so that your opponent can't even play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Runic just fosters that way too much, and it's either ban all the floodgates or hit these cards to 1. And honestly, I also don't like how Fountain, because of it, You can literally just activate as many runic spells as you want during your opponent's turn. I had one particular instance where I was started to do a combo playing against runic, and then he's like, okay, so do you have any quick effects here that you can trigger? And I'm like, no, I do not. And then he literally plays like every single freaking runic spell on my turn, completely destroys my board, hand rips me with the one card. Freaking the milling, oh my god, that's almost worse, because all my outs that I sided in were getting banished, and it's not fun. And he was playing runic stun, and it's like, okay, I hate this, I'm done. So yeah, these need to go to 1 each. I'd honestly almost argue Hugin could too, if you really don't want to hit Tip. Hit Hugin instead. Hugin's one of the other problem cards. I don't know, but I don't really care for Hugin that much. I think these two are the real main culprits. Moving on, I would like to see Brilliant Fusion come back as a test. Okay, so here's my thoughts on Brilliant Fusion. Okay, Brilliant Fusion right now, unless I am totally mistaken, which I did check Master Duel a while ago, and it was still legal there. But anyways, Brilliant Fusion, oh, it's limited in the OCG. I think Brilliant Fusion can come back. Okay. Now, someone I'm sure is going to go, but that card's so broken. Yeah, you also have to play a Garnet. Like, literally, you have to play Garnet. And on top of that, you have to get to this in some way, shape, or form, which means you have to search it, which means you have to do either, you have to, like, play a search spell for it or something like that. Like, Branded could theoretically play it by, like, using cards that search for fusion spells. The most notable one off the top of my head, of course, is the Predaplant engine with Orpha Scorpio and Darlington Cobra. The thing is that it is so fragile, okay? Especially in modern format where you are dealing with 20 plus hand traps in a deck, which is something I do want to talk about eventually whenever I get time to actually make, like, videos again realistically. Like, your Orpha Scorpio is not going to resolve nearly as much as it did back in the day. You normal summon your Orpha Scorpio, you use its effect to send, and then you get Impermed. You get Veilered. You get Ashed. You get, you do get to special summon, and then you summon out the Darling Cobra. Oh, you got Ghost Warning. You got 2D Brilliant Fusion, and your opponent decided to be a dick by waiting until that point, and then you activate the Brilliant Fusion, and they ash it. There. Probably not the smartest idea, giving you some hope up there, especially with how they literally let you get 2 monsters out, which can turn into an IP or something. But yeah, this card, I feel like it could come back to 1. I don't think it would do anything major. It would be interesting to see what people come up with trying to make the Brilliant Fusion engine work again. But unless it's at 3, I just don't see it working. Okay, so we got some fun stuff. Skill Drain should go to 1. I'm tired of it being at 3, and there's too many more decks playing to abuse it. And actually, realistically, Skill Drain should get banned. My biggest thing is that 2 decks right now are able to abuse this card ridiculously well. Mainly because they're able to not have to deal with the consequences of playing Skill Drain. Oh, you're playing Snake Eye? Okay. You hand trap me? Okay. I'll set Skill Drain, and in my turn, oh, you play? Okay, Skill Drain, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, I'll go back to my turn. Ash Effect, send Skill Drain for cost. Oh, it's not on field anymore, my Ash is not negated. Cool. Combo. It's not fun. And then freaking White Forest can do the exact same thing. I don't like it. I don't like that. Skill Drain, technically speaking, is the most fair floodgate because it affects both players, but it has never been used for interesting ways like that. Moving on, Ultimate Offering. I don't think this would be played anymore in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It just, I don't know. I'm very iffy on it. I look at it and it's a continuous trap. You want to set it, hope it survives, go into your turn, and then try to combo off while also putting yourself really down on life points. I just think that it could possibly come back. This is like my spitball idea. I know some people are like, no, it could never come back. And I totally get it. I just don't think it's that good in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. Actually, is it? No, it's still banned in Japan. It's like, huh. And then Red Reboot, I would like to see come back to 1. I'm sure someone's going to be like, no, don't make traps even worse. At one of this card, I don't know. Here's the thing. Modern traps, in order for a trap card to be good in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, it has to be broken. And the thing is that, like, stuff like D-Barrier, which I don't think D-Barrier should be banned, but there should be more counters to these traps. Bring back Reboot. Let us be like, oh, you're going to try to D-Barrier me? Cool, I'm going to red reboot you. Make your opponent also have to play stuff to be able to stop this card or something. Encourage more deck diversity and playing. Okay? Now, this, you could argue, oh, this just makes it so that, oh, now you don't want to play traps anymore. Well, who knows? Let's see how it works. I think these two would be really cool spitball cards to see what actually happens. But I digress. That's everything. Of course, these are all down to 3. These to 2. Honestly, this could go to 3 in my opinion. And then all the one-ofs and the bans. That's my opinion. This would be such a huge ban list if they ever did this. And I think Konami needs to do a huge ban list. Sorry, I've been talking for almost 50 minutes straight. Oh my god. And here's the thing, okay? We need a ban list of this size. We do. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How did I get 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. 10, 20, 23. Let's see here. 31. 33, 34, 5, 6, so 33, 37, because all 4 Dragon Roars, 38, 9, 40, 41. This is 40 cards on a ban list. This is 40 changes, I should say. And we need a ban list like that right now for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because we're not in a good spot. And if we don't get a ban list at least even half this size, and if it's not an impactful one, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep going. Anyways, that's my thoughts and opinions. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. This video will be going up early on the 28th. I don't expect we're going to get a ban list until either the 30th or 31st at this point. There's a chance we get it on Thursday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, they're doing a masked duelist thing or whatever it is, and they're streaming it on IGN apparently. If that's the case, I doubt they're going to announce the ban list then, but who knows? We'll see. Konami could literally drop it 5 minutes after I get done uploading, or they could have uploaded it now. You know, I'd load up Twitter, but like I don't want to like risk seeing anything that's not supposed to be on YouTube. So you know, let's go to YgoAmino. Nope, nothing. So, anyways, that's everything. Thank y'all for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. I hope you look forward to the next video. I'm sorry that uploads are getting slow again, if they ever even picked up really. I am very busy with work, and it is, well, keeping me busy. So we'll see when the next video goes up. If it's not the ban list video, which it probably will be, let's be real, I'm not going to have time to make a big in-depth video. I do have a few ideas in mind. I do want to make the next archetype analysis, and I do also have a few other ideas for fun videos coming up. So keep an eye out. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out. Rate, comment, subscribe. Bye. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you, and have a great day.